Lave Radio? It's even louder than me. Hey, wait a minute. That can't be right.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
I'm Trent Stephen Findless Jr., and I'm here to tell all you pilots about a great new service. Take a listen to my friend, Pete.
My name's Pete, and I'm a long-distance haulier.
I drive a Puma shipping farm machinery from Leasty to Saweo. I love my family and I don't mind being a hard-working blue-collar dad, but I'm tired of seeing my family grow old in front of my eyes. Every time I make the run there and back, I lose 15 days in hyperspace. My family is starting to notice that they're getting older and I'm not. My wife had a baby last week, did a week of shifts, and now my kid's got teeth. I wish there was some way my family could get old at the same speed as me.
There is, Pete.
How?
By buying into my new service, Findlist Cryogenics. We aim to put the freeze on the premature aging of your family. The process is simple.
Our unique family centres allow you to drop off your loved ones on the way to work. Simply hire the number of cryogenic pods you need and keep your family asleep while you fly among the stars. We ensure synchronicity with your flight patterns so they spend the same time awake that you spend in the cockpit.
And when you get home, bingo! Your family is the same age as you. Never lose family time in hyperspace again. We guarantee that you'll never miss another birthday, anniversary, or funeral.
Wow, Trent, that sounds great. Where do I sign?
Simply put your credit card details into our special webpage under the hashtag WeFreezeYourLove. We'll take care of the amounts, no need to worry about that.
It's so simple. I can't wait to keep my family in a secure block of ice. It's a weight off my mind.
Findlist Cryogenics, now at your local spaceport.
Findlist Cryogenics, because the family that grows old together goes cold together.
Oh, boy, space, it's cold in here. That commander has a cheek sitting up in his cosy and warm cockpit while we haul radioactives around his cargo bay.
Oh, is it cold? I hadn't noticed.
Oh, that's right. Why, you're not even shivering.
Maybe it's because I picked up this North Coast cargo bay sweater. It keeps me warm and stylish.
Say, that is a nice jumper.
It's made from the finest Verex wool and handcrafted by novitiates in the underground monasteries of Van Maanen's Star.
Wow. Where can I get one?
New North Coast cargo bay sweaters. Be the envy of your friends. Wow every lady from here to the Empire. Be warm and toasty even on the 10th planet of a dying star. Now on sale at Spark and Mensa.
Better now?
Better? Why, I feel so warm I'll probably never catch man flu again.
Spark and Mensa, because nothing says sexy like a neck-high jumper.
Get ready. Lave Radio.
Lave Radio. It's even louder than me. Wait a minute. That can't be right. The Lave Radio project was our last best hope for news. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long, located in neutral territory. A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads, community members, and developers. A shining beacon in space, all alone on a Tuesday night. It was the dawn of the third chapter of Elite. The year's space legs came upon us all. This is the story of the last of the Lavian stations. The year is 3307. The name of the place? Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 356 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix of Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and otherwise known as Colin Ford. And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Ben Moss Woodward, otherwise known as Commander Edelweiss.
I'm just sucking on something cold here.
We have our In-Human Resources Director, Commander Shan.
Hello.
And our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psykit.
We're off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, as usual. Now, if you wish, you can join us live. We're in two separate places tonight. We have, Ben, you're hanging around where?
So I'm in Koi 1701, where certain commanders have found a very, very high G world that we can land on. And I'll be probably trying to do this a little bit later. But I guess we'll cover that more in Community Corner.
Yep, I guess so.
After the show, are we going to have a sweepstake, or whether Ben makes it or not?
I think you need a sweepstake before I actually do it.
Right. Well, I'm also hanging out in game, in Open, in Horizons, at the Orange Sidewinder bar near the planet Lave. If you want to see what I've had to suffer and what I've been flying in for the last week due to a certain lost bet, feel free to come along and laugh. And even better, actually, if you want to come along and take a pot shot, feel free.
What did you end up flying, Colin?
Well, you'll have to end up turning up at the Orange Sidewinder bar in order to find out.
Are you taking passengers where they want to go?
No. I didn't get one of those. I didn't put a passenger cabin in it. It's bad enough as it is. So yes, if you can't get to us in game, you can join us at the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. You click on the live chat, or go to twitch.tv/laveradio, or go to YouTube, look up Lave Radio there, or even go to Facebook and look up Lave Radio. We're streaming to the lot of them. So we'll go around the crew, see what they've been up to the last week. And we'll start with Ben. What you been up to, mate?
So, through last week, not a lot. Just playing various games and things like that. Mostly Elite, Star Citizen, the usual stuff that I usually play. Over the weekend, I did see Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings and Candyman with my son, brother-in-law, and my son's mate. in Star Citizen, I was taking part in the Xenofest event, which is fun, but I don't actually think I managed to get from step A all the way through step C or D or whatever without something going wrong. But that is Star Citizen for you. I played some Call of Duty Black Ops, and had fun basically getting killed by zombies, even though I was meant to be killing the zombies. But I still had fun with, again, my son and my brother-in-law and mates of theirs. On Sunday, I had a £90 taxi ride paid for in replacement of a £7 bus ticket. So that was kind of fun.
Why?
Because the bus company phoned me up and said, "Hi, Ben, you know how you're in Sheffield waiting for a bus to go down to Birmingham? The bus is broke. There's another woman there with this name. Could you shout her and find her? And then we'll put the two of you into a taxi."
So just to clarify, you were wandering around a bus station shouting a random woman's name?
There wasn't. It's not a big station. I was just.
Oh, man.
It's just one platform.
That is such a creepy thing to do.
Well, just, is there, who here is going to Birmingham? Excuse me, are you whatever your name is? And I happen to be on the phone with the bus company at the moment. Do you want to speak to them so they can explain the situation to you? Blah blah blah.
Cool, you could only be a market trader with that spiel, could you? Gain people's attention.
The reason why I was doing this was, as I found out at the time, her bus ticket was paid for by a friend. So when they tried phoning her, they phoned a friend, and it was like, "Hi, are you this person?" "No, I'm not." "Well, goodbye then."
Okay, so here's a quiz. Yes,
Yes.
You're at a bus station. You're
Mhm.
waiting for a bus, etc.
Yeah.
And you see a man you've never seen or never heard of before shouting your name.
I didn't shout her name. I shouted, "Are you? Is anybody waiting on this bus?" Is actually what I was shouting. And then that woman, and I already knew it was a woman, stuck her hand up and said, "Yeah, I'm waiting on it. What's going on? Or do you know what's going on?" And that's when I explained the
I was
situation.
just interested to see what Sai would have done as being the.
I wouldn't have said anything. I absolutely wouldn't have said anything. Were you about to call me a token woman, Sha?
Well, I don't. There's no other females on the, or people who identify.
You could ask Colin. Maybe Colin would do something different.
Colin doesn't.
I wouldn't answer.
I
absolutely wouldn't answer.
Okay.
Whoever was shouting
or
saying is someone waiting for that, I'd be waiting for my phone to ring.
Okay.
Sorry, random stranger. Not a chance.
And that's completely understandable and very sensible. End of the day, it didn't bother me at all. Just saying, are you going to Birmingham?
I mean, it's not as though you even have a trustworthy face, is it, Ben?
It's on you. I'm lovely.
Oh dear.
So anyway, you took this taxi ride. Did you share the taxi with said lady?
Yes, myself and said lady jumped in a taxi ride belonging to Taxi Company of Sheffield. And as I found out when they got down to Birmingham, that ride cost the bus company 90 quid.
So did you actually talk to the lady, or did you sit there as if
you're
in a
lift
looking at the?
Oh no! Headphones in, look out the window.
That sounds like something out of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, doesn't it? Really.
I think by this time, we'd already. Where the hell's our bus? What's going on? So I think that was probably the situation. I was quite surprised when they phoned me. And apparently I have a trustworthy-looking face because, she actually answered me.
And then she put her glasses on.
But then again, I'm not you, Shannon. The taxi driver wasn't you either. And he did take us to Birmingham, and he did let us out again. But the taxi company was also a taxi company that I'd heard of.
Oh, sorry, I can't take you to Birmingham. I'm only going as far as Wolverhampton.
Yeah, don't go south of the river, mate. Yeah, so that was fun anyway.
Well, I do apologise. I'm here at the Orange Sidewinders. Commander Miggles has just joined me, and he's just brought in a pirate that's attacked the lot of us, which we're having to deal with right now. Which
Solo him, Colin. Solo the pirate and Miggles.
No. I think Commander Miggles has now got it under wraps. We are safe. We are safe, thankfully. So right, yes, Spykit. What have you been up to for the last week?
I've been. This is going to sound like such a broken record. I've been really ill.
I was going to say, please tell me you've been getting into cars with strange men.
No. Oh God, no. I'm not an idiot. I was sick. I had food poisoning. I think I got food poisoning on Wednesday, and it made me. I could barely speak on Thursday or Friday. So husband had some time off. But other than that, I've just been doing token woman things.
Oh, we're not going to let this one go, are we? Oh dear. Right. Okay, Ben, have you been doing any? Oh, sorry, Shan. Have you been doing any token Shan things?
Yes, he's been killing NPCs.
Well, it depends. Game-wise, I haven't actually played much games at all because I've been far too busy at work and dealing with family emergencies, which have now been thankfully resolved. Basically, my dad was taken into hospital with difficulty breathing, thanks to his 20-day habit for the last 50 years. But anyway, he's out of hospital now. He just had a chest infection, so that was most of my time. And today, I made my television debut.
Oh, of course, yes. It was your moment of fame, isn't it?
It kind of was, but I'm a little bit disappointed in a way because the only I think the only reason why they selected my interview to be broadcast was the fact was our dog was photo bombing the filming, sitting in the window looking out, and the dog looking ridiculously cute and basically photo bombing. So cute animal in the window, gotta be in. So yeah, I'm sort of happy with my dog, but he stole the limelight. But yeah, so it was quite an interesting experience being filmed, and things like that. I didn't think I'd be on, to be fair, because they didn't actually give you a form to say will you let us use your image and voice, etc. on TV? Because I thought that's what people had to do. I thought even the people they interview in the street has to sign a form to say yes, we're happy.
I thought it'd be pretty self-explanatory if it's like, excuse me, Shan, we've got a film crew coming round to talk to you with cameras.
Yeah, but it's
not. Oh, and by the way, do you mind if we
we
put you on camera? If you put you on
telly? It's not a signature though, is it? It was a Facebook post message. So anyway. So I also the fact it was because I was at the interview, so they asked me a couple of questions, and I said, well, how long have I got per question? And I sort of got a minute for each question in my head prepared, and the guy said, oh, you've got 20 seconds. And I said, what, for each question? No, you've got 20 seconds. And I thought, okay. But anyway, so that was my claim to fame. And so now all the relatives are saying, oh, we saw you on telly. So I'm getting bored of it already, the media attention.
Yeah.
No, it was not Crime Watch.
Wanted for cruelty to NPCs. So Miggles is asking, is there a reward if you're going to take me out, apparently? Well, all I can say is if you take me out, you'll have a good night out. That's it.
Well, if you take Colin out, he has to spend his money on rebuying his ship. So if you take him out, the reward is he has to buy 2 of them, not just the one.
Hey? No, I have to buy a replacement. I don't have to buy yet another one. I'm not getting twinsies.
Yes, but you're getting a second one of these ships, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose so. But not at the same time, which is always useful. Right. Well, let's have a look at what I've been up to. Well, all those that pop by the Lave Station Bar can find out exactly what I've been doing. There's been a new top shift, which we'll probably go into later. And there is the reason for that is this blasted adder that I am flying thanks to, I think I've said it before. So Commander Rosenkrantz Jr. managed to take out the take out the Thargoid Medusa in an adder, and thus that means that I am now flying in an adder for at least the next week. So no, don't let anybody say that don't back out of a bet, but I have learned my lesson. Don't make a bet with the internet.
When was the duration agreed, Colin?
That's none of your business.
No, when was it agreed? You only had to stay in it a week. Ben, come on, you're the
No, that's it. That is the end of the matter, Shan. So moving on from there.
Oh, no, it's not the end of the matter. We've still got lots more. For example, it was never agreed how long you're going to
the mute button. Where is that mute button? I really am going to hammer that mute button in just a second. Right. Shall
how
we
many
move
people
on?
have you taken as an Apex shuttle then, Colin? Because people.
I mean, to be fair, Colin, I think one has to see if Commander Rosenkratz Jr. feels that honor has been satisfied, and if he does, all is good.
Well, he has actually said so in the chat already in the Lave Radio Discord. If you go to the Lave Station bar, you can find evidence there saying that he is satisfied by that. So I'll just let me look it up now, since this is a valuable waste of our time. Oh dear, a lot of people on holiday.
So wasn't part of it you had to take out a Cyclops solo with it?
Nope. It was just fly around in it for a bit. So there you go.
I think our listeners deserve more than just a token flying around for a bit.
Well, I think, Shannon, if you want to fly around more for a bit in another, go ahead. But I think if Rosenkratz happy, then I'm happy.
I have to say, I mean, I have said that I'm doing this. The Top Shift 127, I'm going to be doing in the adder. Top Shift 128, which will be next week's, I'll do that in an adder. So I think after that, we've had enough adders. So moving on to the development news that's been happening this week. Well, on Thursday, Arf did an Xbox stream. Now, if people can't find this on YouTube, that's because it was only on Twitch, because of the nature of streaming on the Xbox, which is always a laugh.
Psykit, just jumping in very quickly here, I think you need to teach Frontier about the export to YouTube button.
When you're streaming from an Xbox, you can't restream when you're streaming directly from the Xbox.
In Twitch, after you finished your VOD, you can then say upload this to. You can export the VOD to YouTube.
Not anymore. You haven't been able to do that for years.
I did it.
What, export a VOD to YouTube?
Yeah,
I'm looking now.
So am I.
I didn't think that you've been able to do that for years.
I thought you were able to export it at least.
I know you can download the VOD.
I'm sure.
And then upload it again.
I want to check this out myself now.
Well, every time I've had to export the video and then re-upload it to YouTube.
Wrong.
So.
No, it doesn't say that I can't. Sorry. Anyway, I can't see it on mine. Maybe
I'll go and have a look at mine, but it might have been removed. But it was quite recently that I did it, like LaveCon recently.
I've always had to download. Yeah. Well, for a little while, for quite a while.
We can move on, and when I find what I can, I'll fill in one way or the other.
Right.
Rather than waiting on me to dig through Twitch.
Fine. Well, yeah. Well, Arf did an Xbox stream. That's what happened last Thursday, and this Thursday, they're doing a kind of lore thing, which I think you're involved with, aren't you, Psykit?
I am. Yeah. And it's me, Malik, and Grinning Crow.
Yeah, funny that, because, sort of lore thing, chief archivist. No one bothered giving me a
Did you
call.
Respond to the tweet?
I did respond to the tweet.
I do feel like this is the start of many, though. So, this is kind of like my understanding is that this is like a road test, and they will then potentially move on to other people. Potentially move on to other people after that. They did some reaching out. But yeah, I was I'm very excited about it. But they've sent me a long list of things, and I really have to do some sorting up tomorrow.
Right, so for anyone who's a Twitch person, all I've done is I've gone to the Lave Radio dashboard thingy-bobber, gone to video producer, selected one of our videos from the other week, click on the 3 dots, and then I hit the export button, and again there's a beautiful thing that says export to YouTube.
It is still there, you're quite right. I thought they'd removed that years ago. I always download and edit anyway, but
oh yeah, if I was doing it properly I probably would. But yeah, so from you can learn about this. Yay! I can't believe I knew something about Twitch that you didn't.
Did they do Twitch drops on the stream?
Oh
No.
God, no.
No, they only roll out Twitch drops for something important. I'm jumping every time I hear something jump in. Oh yes, so there's only just Command and Miggle so far, so just I can relax. Right, let's have a quick look here. Super Cruise News 46 happened today. Now, this also includes the Elite Dangerous issue report, the latest one, which was obviously updated for the beginning of Update 7. We also got news about Update 7, which is possibly next week. I'm guessing maybe the 16th. So that'll be Thursday the 16th next week. That is if everything works and tests out okay and they don't have to roll it back another week. So fingers crossed for that. Also, they gave an update on the Horizon / console update. Now, that's quality of life changes that we will bring things into line with Odyssey, and that will be released at some point in September. They weren't specific with the date. So, guys, just quickly looking at the Elite Dangerous issue report that they issued today. Has everybody had a chance to look over it?
I did briefly, yes.
And what were your impressions, Shan?
Well, it mentions an update 8, which is interesting.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering if you filtered on and removed everything that said update 7, what would be below the fixed list, if you see what I mean. So they've got the top 20, but if you removed 1, 2, 3, 4.
There are
5.
6 items which are marked as fixed. One which is being removed completely, which is the lighting and illumination, because they're going to split that up into several others. So there's definitely 6 fixes going in from this list here.
So what's number 21 to 26 was my question.
Well, we don't know what 21 to 26 is because the issue tracker doesn't give you that kind of information. I mean, the number 1 was obviously problems with lighting and illumination. That's the one they're going to split into other ones. They say they've fixed the degraded textures compared to Horizons in Update 7. That'll be nice to see. The main issue with the tiling of planetary features, they say they're still investigating ways to put that in. Now, it's been well documented that would probably involve a major rewrite and what do they call it? A half baking or some kind of baking to line up all the planetary bases again. Now the low FPS performance in Odyssey, they've said a planned release sometime in 2021, so that means that there's going to be at least an update 9. They did comment on the limited gameplay during Apex shuttle rides. Now, they both, Zach and Bruce, who did the stream today, they kind of said, well, it's Elite Dangerous. If you're on long journeys, I'm sorry, but that's Elite Dangerous. I thought that was a bit. I mean, what did you think to that answer?
I think it's Elite Dangerous. If you don't like long journeys, what the hell are you doing playing this game?
Same. It's a taxi drive. It's a taxi drive. Look at your phone. You've got a phone.
Yeah.
It's more than a taxi drive. It's a taxi drive with a woman in Sheffield who you don't talk to for 3
Actually,
hours.
she was a woman from Birmingham who was just happening to be in Sheffield at the time.
I can kind of see the point, but then again, at least if you're in Super Cruise, you are in control of your ship. So it's up to you whether you head straight there or take a detour or count your credits or look at the codex or whatever it is. You are in control of the ship. So if that makes a difference, I don't know, but that's about the only thing I can think of that would make a difference between that and sitting in Apex.
I must admit, when I do take an Apex shuttle ride, the reason I take an Apex shuttle ride is because I want to make a cup of tea while I'm waiting for the Apex shuttle to get somewhere. Otherwise, I'm flying the ship. So
I don't know about you, Colin, but I'll take the Apex if I'm doing the ground combat PvP stuff. It's not an Apex, but it's the same idea, really, isn't it? So you jump to the Vulture, but usually they're quite quick. It's like go to this planet and then go to this planet, and it just makes life so much quicker and easier.
Yeah, I must admit, I do like the Vulture shuttle, if you like, for the frontline services.
Yeah,
that does seem to merge. It's just when if you're in an Apex shuttle going to Hutton Orbital and you need to go to Hutton Orbital, well, you chose to go to Hutton Orbital.
That was the very first thing I did in Odyssey, and I am proud I did it.
I mean, you could look at it a different way, though, couldn't you? You could say the Apex, because you can't get interdicted with an Apex. Your journey cannot be disturbed if you are in an Apex thing. So it's the perfect time to catch up on What If or Lower Deck Season 2, or you just have to
do the hoovering.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you take your ship, it can be interdicted, you can overshoot or whatever it is. You've got none of that. You can just watch Netflix or Disney Plus in peace until you get there.
Yeah, I mean, Chin Dai is saying that. I mean, he would just love it if we could walk around the cockpit. But yeah, it is a case of, I think that one. There's that much complex geography involved and coding involved. I think that does have to come as a separate update. But we've been over that before.
We have, yes.
Yes. So, quickly looking through the rest of the list. I mean, the ones that were fixed, we'll just cross them off the list. Invincible Thargoid Heart. I really hope that this one is fixed. They are leaving it open, but just to make sure that the company, the player base agrees with the fact that they think it's fixed, because they've marked it as fixed before, and then the Anti-Xeno initiative had come back, oh no, you're not. And yeah, so they're being extra cautious with that one. NHSS signals in Odyssey that should contain interceptors are empty. They say that one's fixed. Dav hopes not spawning metals or materials.
Hold on,
that's fixed. What?
You missed number 9.
What, the joystick button? That's not fixed.
I know, but I'm just wondering. I don't think I've got a 32 button. I'm just thinking 32 buttons on your joystick. What? I can't think it's ever been. I've never mapped my X56 or any other joystick or HOTAS I've had and think, oh gosh, I really wish I had 33 buttons mapped.
Well, I know of at least 2 people that have joysticks with more than 32 buttons, and one of them is ex-Sovereign, because his Verpal had thousands, and I know the X56, is it the 56? I think the 56 and the Warthog certainly have a lot more than 32 buttons, and there are people out there with those kind of joysticks that would love to be able to use every single button, because that's the kind of people they are. moving on from that one, we've got, let's see, Dav's Hope not spawning materials. That one's been marked as fixed. Fleet carrying modules and finances not calculating towards assets has been fixed. And finally, supporting missions have been culled. They say they fixed that one, so support missions are obviously going to become more available. Oh, and of course the degraded terrain and textures compared to Horizons. Well, we'll just have to wait and see if that actually works, because we've had people before saying, yeah, that's fixed, and no, it's not pretty enough.
You can tell I'm a busy day at work because I'm in my work mindset at the moment, but I'm finding it quite interesting that
Is that
only
why you're being an arse?
No, I'm looking at the list and I'm thinking it's interesting that it only takes 86 votes on an issue to get into the top 20.
Yeah, but those issues have still got to be confirmed. The way the issue tracker works is you put in your issue, and other people comment on it, and then Frontier confirm whether or not it is an issue. And out of all those confirmed issues, then you're able to vote on them. The problem I find is that a lot of the important bugs haven't even been moved to confirmed state yet. So we're seeing a lot of these votes, especially stuff like what is it, exposed to telemetry data for motion simulators. Is there about 185 people who have got motion simulators? Because it does seem that one's a bit of a, and it does mean that there are at least 211 people that want more than 32 buttons on their joystick.
I'm thinking of obvious, ones I found out today, that apparently the filter by star type route is a bit bugged. In that, because you know when you were doing a route, and you think, I'll filter by star type to only do scoopable stars. You can do that once, but as soon as you go back to the galaxy map or log out, it resets again. So you then have to keep going and doing it. And you can't, or let's say, well, I want to look for black holes on the way. So you do the search for black holes. And yeah, it's so that was a much more annoying one for people, I would imagine, and would need more than 86 votes. I'm just surprised it's such a low number, but maybe that's just me.
Colin? You think we might have lost a Colin? Are you still here, Sean? Still here?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm still here, so I think we can move swiftly on. But it's good they post this list up and also a response to each one though. So yes, we've been I've been a bit snarky about it, but it's good at least they're providing information with a bit of description around it. So it's still a loose thumbs up for me for this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. It's there. No massive surprises. We'll get update 7 probably sometime next week. We'll see how that adds in things. We'll get update 8, maybe even sometime next month, but probably the month after. And we'll see what happens, I guess, won't we? So we'll move. Shall we move on from that, or is there anything else anyone wants to say about the issue tracker?
Well, so far they've done an update as monthly, and I know it's extrapolating, but do we foresee update 8 in October? Update 9 November?
I'm extrapolating, but who knows?
I'm very cautious of waiting and seeing. I think as it's getting closer to winter and to Christmas and all of that sort of malarkey, I would be surprised if they kept it monthly. I would say we'd probably get update 8 maybe towards the end of November or mid-November, and then if we were getting an update 9 would probably be January, and then maybe 10 might be a console release, possibly.
Well, Black Sky Legion's actually raising quite a valid point about the exposing the telemetry data for motion simulators. That it'll be awesome for motion simulators, it might be even better for botters.
That's very true.
Yeah, that is indeed very true. Or
Can you give me
initial thoughts is very true. I'd have to stop and think probably, but yeah.
Admittedly, I'm out of touch with elite peripherals and things like that. But can you give us an example of what the motion simulator would be?
Yeah, I guess so. So, okay, were you ever at the arcades in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, Shan? And there was I think there was a Top Gun simulator. Or there was a Top Gun arcade game that would put you into like a ball that you had to strap yourself in and it
like
rotated
Afterburner.
round. Yeah, Afterburner, that's it. And it rotated round and things like that. Remember that? Yeah, that's almost what they're on about. I've seen somebody had a thing at LaveCon where basically they you put on some VR goggles. You had your joystick and there was a hot ass joystick at your sides, and then basically the seat moved sort of up, sort of tilted forward, tilted backwards, rolled left, rolled right. I think that's all that it did, but at least gave you some of the stuff that you get in a simulator.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, this was just a homebrew thing that somebody did, and it was awesome. There is also, I believe, psykit, you're probably more aware of this than I am, but you might not be, that there was wasn't there a seat as a peripheral that was being marketed for this kind of thing as well?
A seat?
Yeah, it was like from what I remember seeing, it was like a really low down seat that you sort of really went down into, but then it sort of like had wheels on the cardinal direction.
It was like on casters, and it would move.
Yes,
and
it would roll the bucket seat around. Basically.
Oh, vaguely, it was very, very, very expensive.
It was crazy expensive, but it was the same kind of up, down, left, right. The kind of thing that
stuff that you get in an arcade.
Yeah, basically like an arcade from the 90s kind of idea. That like Afterburner, basically.
Yeah.
Except Afterburner actually went upside down, which is why they always had a guy standing on it or standing looking after it, and you were fully strapped in.
But my problem with like motion rigs and Elite Dangerous and stuff like that is because we don't have like a gravitational pull.
We don't have gravity, but we do have we've got thrust gravity.
Yeah, I suppose.
There is a cheaper way of doing this than buying expensive machinery, because I remember doing it a while ago with one of the flight sim games I was playing.
I bet you Shad's involving like sit in your chair and get your kids to move you about or something, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes, you sit in your kid and you give your kid. You have a tube of Smarties on your desk, and you pay them one Smartie each for every 5 minutes they do this.
So every 5 minutes, one Smartie. Kids are more shrewd than that. Not a chance.
No, well, at the time my kids weren't, because they trust Dad.
They were used to it.
Adding to the origin story.
What else good are kids if you can't use them for manual labour?
Moving on. So we also had the update 7 is also going to have some. There's as well as update 7, which is Odyssey only. There is going to be a Horizons/console update at some point in September, we hope. We'll see how that appears. They're not committing to anything apart from the fact that the Horizons update will indeed be also for the console.
Right,
so it's not just a PC one.
This is Horizons on console.
Update 8. It's Horizons on console and PC.
Right, so it's not. I just want to clarify this because it's Horizons/console. So it's not going to be Odyssey on console update. It's Horizon on console.
Yeah, completely Horizons. Some point in December. That's all we know. And Psykit, do you want to talk about what's going on Thursday?
We've spoken about it a little bit already.
Yeah. Any more you want to say, or should we move on after that?
No, I'm good. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm good.
Yeah. I think there was one other thing, if I remember correctly, in today's Super Cruise news. That didn't I see your artwork getting featured?
Oh, sorry. Is this the time when we're going to do my 20-minute segment on how to get the perfect picture and getting stellar screenshots?
Well, Colin's not here, so we can. Why not?
I was so chuffed about that. I was so excited. It's so silly to get excited about a screenshot in a video game, but it was all on the back of that that Hyford's Cash stuff from last week.
Yeah.
Or the week before, whenever, and I was taking so many pictures, man. But yeah, there's a real pretty Thargoid site there. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great, and it was so well lit. It was like proper sunlight. So happy.
It was a very pretty one, and it was a good shot. So yeah, and I think as they said, it's very definitely the archetypal shape for the whole Thargoid base, and it's just a lovely example of it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. They also I don't know whether it's worth mentioning it here.
Yeah.
That there is going to be the community goal on Thursday. According to Bruce, if you're out of the bubble, is worth getting back to the bubble for. That's Bruce's words, not mine.
Yeah, Bruce is excited about it. It might be good. Hopefully, it'll be good. I guess we'll find out on Thursday. I mean, are you? I'm trying to think of I'll solve the delicate way of saying this. Do you think Bruce is just being excited because he has to be excited about it?
Nah, I think there's something good coming. I think we're gonna get something if we participate. I think it's gonna be a good one. Bruce, in my opinion, Bruce doesn't want to say something if he doesn't wholeheartedly agree with it, and I think him going out of the way to say something like that is indicative of there being potential for something interesting.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's just going to be like some kind of fancy new engineering thing about, I don't know, an improved scanner that is also lightweight or something, say? Or do you think it's going to be actually?
I think it's going to have. I think it's going to have lore smatterings over it, especially if they're doing. If they're given the fact that they're doing the lore thing, I think it might be like. I think it might be a Salvation reemergence. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know, but I would put a couple of quid on it.
Yeah. Would you fly an adder on it?
Hell no. Actually, I think I've flown an adder before for some kind of buckyball race. I'm sure there's been an adder involved somewhere along the lines. I don't hate it.
Yeah, for speed bowling and for certain things like that, I think adders are perfectly acceptable. Obviously, hungry haulers, it has to be a hauler. But yeah, I think adders are okay. They're not terrible. Not that I own one. Actually, do I? I don't think I might own one. I don't know.
Have you ever owned one?
I might. I can't remember. What is it you normally do speed bowling in? Is that an adder or is that a hauler?
Is that a Viper? I've never done it.
No, one of the things that you wouldn't have thought you should do a race in is either an adder or a hauler, and I think I got one for that.
I thought it was a hauler.
Okay, so it might be a hauler then that I took out to the view. So I did that.
Although the adder didn't used to make a bad exploration ship.
Right. Okay, so Niggles is saying there's 2 adders waiting for Colin's return, but Colin has vanished out of the face of the galaxy. So hopefully he's okay. And yeah, Cloud Atlas is confirming that the Hauler is indeed the traditional vehicle for speed bowling, and the Viper is if you're actually trying to be competitive about it. So, not an adder, it's a Hauler. Right, anyway, should we move on to the in-game events and Galnet and stuff like that?
Yep.
Right. In that case then, so on the 1st of September, which was who cares? The Federation was criticised by the Alliance and the Empire, and I've not actually read. I've read
Oh,
that.
hi. I'm kind of a fan of like Galnet and lore and stuff.
Excellent. Why don't you do this?
So on Thursday, the Federation was criticised by both the Alliance and the Empire because everyone's leaving the Feds. And there were lots of wonderful newspaper articles, which I love the newspaper articles.
I stopped doing things willingly for the Feds back in 3303 when the twats went off and, I went off and rescued some innocent civilians, and they went off and said, you've got innocent civilians in your hold. We'll fine you, and now you're banned from our systems.
I will choose the Fed if it's a competition between the Fed and the Empire, or the Fed and the Alliance, something like that, normally, because Corvette is love, Corvette is life.
Yeah.
But if the option is independent, always choose independent.
No, I would be Indie, Alliance, Empire, Fed, very but that's purely because of my bad experiences with the Federals. That with
Ben
the
never
Fed.
forgets.
Oh God, no.
Which I'm sure this will be a shock to all of you, but I'm completely mercenary about what side I choose. It's whatever pays the most.
Whatever pays. Yep, that does not surprise any of us, I think.
No, none at all. On the 2nd, we had the CG for Onion Head, producing Onion Head gamma strain, because it's proven to have medicinal benefits, and the winners got a
Onion Head
skin for Cobra. Yeah. I didn't participate because I was busy.
Oh, it might have been you might be philosophically, against Onion Head or something. I don't know.
No, I was ill, mate. I couldn't play.
If you'd taken Onion Head, you might have felt better.
That's true. That is true. That's very true. I should bear that in mind.
So is this a little like someone like Pfizer selling marijuana at an inflated price?
You mean the farmer? It sort of is, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit like the sort of official medicinal Onion Head, isn't it? Versus homegrown Onion Head.
Yeah. Like stripping out all the good parts.
Yeah, stop making it fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Synthahol, isn't it? It's like Synthahol in Star Trek, isn't it?
I was actually thinking it's a bit like California and what they did with marijuana, that sort of only certain strains of marijuana are allowed to be consumed, and it has to be gotten from all these things, and all of the unofficial illegal marijuana had to be disposed of by burning, obviously.
Yeah.
But then you then, if you were growing marijuana, it had to be these official strains then from then on.
Yeah, like CBD and stuff like that.
All that kind of stuff. But I see it a bit like that.
Potentially.
Yeah.
On the 3rd of September, we had a new starport become operational in LTT 198 after that mining initiative that happened the week before. It's a new starport in the game. Then we had the ACT scoring victories against the NMLA. They've raided NMLA cells, arrested several thousand parliamentary activists, which is why I'm thinking Thursday is going to be law-based, because that was Monday, and Monday, I find, has a trend of hinting towards the CG. But they caught lots of NMLA people. I think we might have some burning stations on Thursday. We'll have to wait and see. And then on the 7th, which is, I believe, today, the Sirius Treaty would save Aegis. which I haven't even read yet. Oh yeah, no, balls to you, Aegis. You had your chance. That's about it, really. Mayon saying we should have had a treaty, and then it would have saved Aegis. But everyone decided against Aegis.
Do you think that the thing then, what we're told to look forward to, as you say, could be burning stations, could be whatever, and then, oh look, Mahon says, let's get Aegis back into it. Let's all join Aegis to rescue the stations and beat the Blargoids. Do you think that's a twist like this?
I think it could be like an Aegis versus Salvation thing. It could be that. That might be the following week or 2 weeks sort of down the line. Giving them sort of like a burning station or an explosion or more NMLA attacks, giving Mahon the opportunity to say, and giving him like the force behind him to say, yes, all of this X, Y, and Z needs to happen. I don't think in general, I think the community has a long time ago decided, nah, fluff Aegis, it ain't worth it. Let's see what this Salvation can do, because Aegis have messed up too many times. Although that missing Aegis megaship, has that appeared yet?
I don't think
it has. I haven't seen anything about it. If it has,
I'm not aware. I'm sure our audience will correct us quickly enough if it has appeared, but I don't think it has.
Then it might have something to do with that as well. But I think it's going to be like a good. Yeah, there we go. Kremen and APOC both saying that the Alexandria is still missing. So perfect. Yeah. It might have something to do with that. There's lots of things that could be very exciting, and apparently the reward is really good. So many reasons, but I think it'll be law-based.
I mean, to paraphrase The Life of Brian, what have Aegis ever done for us?
Or lost megaships.
Have they actually given the player any goodies? I'm trying to think. I mean, other than gameplay and Thargoids and things like that, but what have Aegis done for us? Because I certainly wouldn't be sad to see them go.
I agree. I don't think they.
APOC v. Kenny said the Alexandra is still missing, so
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So Ben, anything in the newsletter? I didn't get one this week. Did you?
No, neither did I. But then again, that's nothing new. I very rarely seem to get a newsletter still. So no, I've not seen anything in there either. Sorry, I'm just trying to arrange an inflatable Colin.
Well, that leads us on to the most famous song on Lave Radio.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, a store alert, a store alert.
So, in this week's store alert, I see there's a Cobra Mark III skin that makes it look like an RAC truck. The salvage skin. You seen this one?
What the orange monstrosity?
Blue, yeah.
Yeah, looks like an RAC truck.
It does a bit, yeah.
Yeah, although I didn't see it in a store alert nor on a Twitter. But this could be. I heard that Arthur's been sick as well, so maybe the lack of social.
Not over the Cobra, I hope.
not all over the Cobra. No, I hope. But yeah,
It's not. I wouldn't buy it because I've got the wireframe skin for my Cobra, which I think is the only skin for Cobra Mark III. Sorry, anyone else, but yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'm trying to think, what would you use it for? What if I was sort of role playing a Cobra pilot and whatever? Would I have that bright orange ship for a salvage ship? Would I use
maybe
a Cobra?
if you were a hull seal.
I don't know. Isn't the Cobra a bit small to be a hull seal?
I wouldn't have thought so. No. Anyway, I've done a spot of inflating while we've been away, and we are joined by the oh so lovely Mac Winston.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
We
Oh,
can.
good.
Just in time for an advert, I guess.
Yes. I was in my tardiness in accepting your invite was because I was being shot at.
By Colin.
No, just by random NPCs.
Oh, okay. Not even by an adder.
Not even by an adder. No, I don't know what it was. It was in a conflict zone. It could have been
That'd be the ultimate thing, wouldn't it be, to be blown up by an adder if you're in something like a Corvette or something?
Oh, wait, it'd have a job.
Yeah.
I got blown up by a vulture the other day.
And you were in?
Crate. It was a player. It was another player. It was in a conflict zone.
Yeah.
And I found another player, and they had rather well engineered. And the thing is, a decent pilot in a vulture, they're quite hard to hit with fixed weapons and railguns. Because that's what I use. I use fixed beams and railguns on this. And so, yeah, they rather. Well, I ran away because I got lots of shields.
Were
but
they in a?
They shot at my power plant.
Were they a shotgun one or something?
No, it was like
Sneeze
it
cannon?
was actually beams.
Oh wow, okay.
Which was because I thought, oh yeah, I'll easily take him. No,
Yeah.
I couldn't. It all went horribly wrong.
Oh, fair play to the guy.
And then I've actually been kind of ganked in the sea today. We went swimming after work in the sea, and I got stung by a
I wish
jellyfish.
I could. Oh, I wish.
And
I
it
could
went
go swimming in
the
sea at the moment.
tentacles went all down my legs, so
Oh.
I'm itching rather a lot right now.
Have you gotten somebody to wee on your leg?
No.
That is the cure, isn't it? For
No, I
getting...
have not.
But that is a potential cure, isn't it, for jellyfish stings?
No, I didn't.
Am I
think
right
of
there?
getting... I've not heard that one.
Oh, I'm gonna have to Google this now. You are aware of that?
I also got slightly sunburnt
Mm.
on my thigh as well, so I'm just generally itchy tonight. And no, nobody weed on that either. So anyway, yes, I've completely lost the plot now. I can't remember what we're talking about. Other than
Adverts.
adverts, yes.
What, before or after stuff?
You've flown ships at max speed. You've felt the power of the 30 megawatt mining laser. You've experienced the efficiency of the MB4 mining machine.
Wow.
But it leaves every hardcore miner with just one question.
Why can't I get a shave that's that fast, close, and efficient?
Introducing the Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
It's so smooth.
Combining the power of a mining laser with the convenience of a drone.
It's like every hair is targeted by a fighter and destroyed.
Saracen's patented shaving drone attaches to your face at the start of the day. Leave it to do its work, and when you come back to check, your face is shaved.
He's so smooth.
It's like I'm mining my face.
The Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
Now I feel manly.
Saracen Shaving, making shaving an unnecessary adventure.
This is a public service announcement from the Fuel Rats. Please stop what you're doing and pay attention. If we can rescue you, we will, but you can help us help you by following these easy steps. 1. Fly 50 light seconds or so from the system's main star and drop out of supercruise. 2. Note down the current system and the nearest stellar body. 3. If you're on emergency life support, log out immediately. 4. Go to fuelrats.org and click Get Help. 5. Stay calm, hold your breath, and let our seasoned professionals do what they do best. The Fuel Rats. We have fuel, you don't. Any questions?
Want to tour the frontier? Travel with Colmac Reeve and our new fleet of passenger starliners. We've opened up the universe for a range of budgets. Option 1. Luxury.
My husband and I like to travel in comfort. The new luxury cabins were like a home away from home. After all, one's home is a castle.
Option 2. First class.
We'd saved up a bit for a really special trip. The first class cabins were like nothing we've travelled in before. Really luxurious.
Option 3. Travel cabin.
We won a trip with Cormac Reeves' monthly lotto. A travel cabin for two on a starliner around the solar system. Once in a lifetime for us. Simply amazing.
Option 4. Basic accommodation.
Me and my mates just wanted to hitch around the universe. It's so great that we have the option of getting a really cheap cabin to see the sights. It saved us loads.
And for the budget conscious and slaves, we have our cheapest option yet.
Well, I needed a...
And we won't sell any of those frozen passengers into slavery, I promise. Colmac Reeves all budget tours, seeing the galaxy from luxury to freezing tubes.
And welcome back. So in this week's main topic, we just kind of got thinking between us during the week, and we asked ourselves the question, are there any technologies today that we could see evolving into the technology used in 3307? Or alternatively, is the technology in 3307 that has regressed from what we have today? So I'm going to pick on someone and say, Ben, what do you reckon?
Yes.
Go on.
Oh, you're more than that. So I do feel quite strongly, actually, that networking technology seems to have regressed since our time to 3307, especially of simple data transmissions and things like that. Okay, fine. The distances are increased. Oh, for God's sake, I'm being interdicted by Hyde, I think. Moving on, Shan, could you take over a second?
Okay, well, we sort of want you to get blown up. Anyway, networking. I don't know. I don't think it's regressed because you just say there's a distance, but then I'm not sure we could transmit the Hollow Me stuff with lack of sufficient lag with wirelessly. So I'm not sure that's regressed.
But why can't we share, like, market data and all that kind of stuff? There is so many things that seem to be unable to be shared that we can just get so easily these days.
Well, I was actually thinking the mobile tech, because at the moment, if you look in Odyssey, you have to wander to the screen, don't you? Or you have to go to the ship to pick up a mission and sell stuff. But now we can almost live our entire lives from our phone screen.
Yeah.
We can online bank, we can buy stuff, we can do shopping, we can look. We don't need to go to a place to do our shopping, do we?
No, I mean, I can do my Tesco shopping from my phone, from in a taxi, going down to Birmingham if I wanted to. And yeah, I suspect you couldn't do that in 3307.
So what about? I think also computer tech has gone backwards as well, and I know there are law reasons for that, which we can touch on. But I think computer tech has gone backwards. And my evidence for that is, what's the weight of a docking computer in Elite?
Too heavy.
It's, I was going to say it's over a ton, isn't it?
Too heavy. It should be a little. There should be a separate thing.
Yeah.
And I will. It should just come built in on ships, and you should have the opportunity to be able to turn it off. It should be part of the ship's bloody computer.
I mean, like an options pack when you buy a BMW or something, it's like, oh, you're buying the space station pack, and you just tick the options box, and you get the docking computer and flight.
Yeah, well, if you have it, you can turn it off. You don't have to use it if you have it. It shouldn't take up a ton's worth of space.
No.
That's dumb.
All of that kind of stuff is a bit weird.
All that stuff is basically not to make the module system in the game too complicated, because in reality it'd be something like a interface card you put into your wherever the main computer housing is, a bit like a PCIe card or something like that, a bit like a graphics card, because people may make the argument, well, the docking computer needs things like actuators and servos. Well, it doesn't, because you already have those, because the ships will already be fly-by-wire. I mean, they're not going to be. It's not going to be mechanical linkages to valves and stuff, especially with the frameshift drive. So, I think really it's because to make all this stuff like it would be in the real world, like with an aircraft today, if you want to fit an autopilot, it's a box that goes in the instrument panel and a couple of servos, and it doesn't weigh very much. But the thing is, you need then a separate module system for like computer modules, for instance, like the docking computer and this, that, and the other. So you'd end up having this plethora of module systems, and it's from a coding and understanding how the game works point of view, it's probably easiest just to have the module system we have now. That's probably why they did it. It's a bit of a trade-off between realism and gameplay.
So what would the argument be to not having it in every ship as standard and then giving commanders the opportunity to turn it on and off as and when they wanted to?
Because it would be a crutch. Nobody would learn. You have to pay your dues and learn how to dock manually.
But you can just turn the docking computer off to do that. And what if you don't want to?
Because otherwise, nobody would ever dock manually. Nobody would learn how. So it's a bit like, why your driving license is restricted if you learn in an automatic car. It's because So everybody learns in a manual, even though automatics exist, because it's kind of a rite of passage. Certain countries this might not apply to, like the United States, but certainly in Europe, where your driving license is based on the most complicated thing you can drive. That's probably the idea behind it. Is they probably thought, well, if we give everybody a docking computer by default, no one will learn how to dock. It'll be the preserve of the FA off enthusiasts and no one else. So they probably decided, well, everybody needs to pay their dues and learn how to actually fly their ship. So when you get your sidewind, there's no docking computer in it.
But you just answered your argument with an argument saying, okay, well, every ship has got flight assist, and people turn flight assist off. Do you see where I'm coming from?
But for newbie, flying with FA off is basically impossible.
But wouldn't you make it part of the driving test, so to speak? Can you dock without a docking computer? It's the same as
it's
the same as like parallel.
And then you've got burning stations as well. Burning stations, you can't use a docking computer. So there's the forcing someone to learn fly without a docking computer right there.
Like any emergency procedure, it's best to learn it when you're not actually trying to dock with a burning station.
So you can turn it off and then learn to do it then. I know I'm being an arsehole for a particular reason, but I'm just trying to show you an argument to that mentality.
So we think the limitation is a cultural one rather than a technological one.
Yes,
I
and
would
that's
agree with
probably the
that.
same with market data too, as well. Because you think of it, I mean, you'd have to transmit it with some fancy frame shift drive based transmitter to make it go faster than the speed of light, which obviously exists because the news gets out. But there's probably some weird legal rule in 3307 that says you can't do that. Not that it's not possible, but that it's a people problem, not a technology problem.
Wasn't there something in the Dark Wheel novella that said something like you sharing market data wasn't allowed or something as part of the Pilots Federation? And I haven't got the Dark Wheel in front of me, but I seem to remember the topic was addressed.
Yeah,
But
I seem to remember that too.
but then again, in Elite Frontier, I think it was Frontier 2 or Elite 2, you could buy a module that looked at the market data, but I think that was just in system, wasn't it? You didn't have to dock to see it. You could pick up the market data when you're in system. Do you remember that, Ben? Do you remember Frontier 2?
I didn't play Frontier.
All right.
I was too busy with girls and university and things.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that in Frontier or in First Encounters. It might have been something you could buy from the station menu.
It was a module I think you could buy. I can't. It's been
Yeah.
so many years, but so it's a cultural thing. And I mean, we know from the law that proper AI is banned. So machine sentience basically is banned by convention. So that's why there isn't too much tech like that. You know, there are no Cylons, for example, in Elite, which I think is sensible, really.
Or
But
neither your plastic pal who's fun to be with either.
yeah, I guess so. Well, I'm trying to think of what. I mean, data storage as well. I think has regressed per se because you think about your when your shit's blown up, you lose all your exploration data, and somehow your pilot appears back at the station. Well, it takes quite a lot to destroy an aircraft black box now. So, is that an area, do you think, where things have regressed? The black box, so to speak, is too easily destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Who
depends how much,
says? Sorry, Shan. Sorry, Mac. Go.
depends how much data. Because obviously, in the actual game, when you explore, there isn't that much data. But it depends how much in the in universe, how much data there's assumed to be. Is it like terabytes per surface scan, or something that even in 3307 you can't secrete on your person?
I don't know.
I would also say, who says that the data that we're holding, our biological samples or even navigation data, is in a black box versus in an Acme Ink storage device that's strapped to the outside of your hull?
Yeah, but why would you do that? What? Because all
Why
it would
would it?
take for
But your black box doesn't contain like the contents of your phone calls or the data
you
that
store it in the
is.
cloud.
But yeah, but you probably won't have access to the cloud. So like, think of it like when you're on a plane, you've got a few hard drives with the movies on it that are being streamed out to people, but then you've actually got the black box inside of its real thing. So this I see closer to, okay, we've got a couple of hard drives that are shoved somewhere, a bit like you've got a USB key fob or something like that. That's what it's stored on, not in the black box.
The thing is, though, if the Acme Shan Incorporated came up with hey, we will store your exploration data in the ship's black box, or a
Yeah, but you
device
wouldn't be allowed
like
to because
right.
the device like it. Fair enough. Like you could get home UPSs and things. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I'd use the same box they use to put the flight recording in, and then I'd store all exploration data in a separate box. inside the ship, right next to it.
Yeah, you might, but maybe whoever got the cheapest build for the Cobra didn't, or something. I don't know.
Or since we can transmit holomes and data instantly across vast distances, I just store it in the cloud.
Well, I'd store a lot of stuff in the cloud that we can't, but that's another story. Yeah, holomes, I think, broke a lot of the lore of Elite Dangerous.
Yeah,
so,
I found the whole Hollow Me thing unsatisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, holomes, it's great for gameplay convenience, and it's terrible for not breaking your brain if you think about it too hard.
So what about the actual energy source? I think we're at least several hundred years away from the sorts of
Oh,
energy
yeah.
generation
Easily.
that we
And the
see.
whole warping and bending of space. I mean, that's the whole thing behind the frame shift drive. If anything like that's even possible within the laws of physics, assuming it is, we don't have the foggiest idea how to do it today.
I thought I read we were closer than that, but the main stumbling block was generating the amount of energy needed to do it.
Energy is definitely a key factor in things like the Albuquerque drive, I believe. If
So
that's what you're getting at.
Well, because what the question was what tech have we got today that we can see evolving into tech in 3307?
Well,
And I
we do have the theoretical physics behind the Albuquerque drive and behind.
Albuquerque.
Oh, however you want to pronounce it.
And that's a town in New Mexico. It's where
Yeah,
you
we're at
turn
the
left
Walter
at.
White drive.
Basically, it's a warp drive by another name, isn't it?
Yes.
I thought it was Albuquerque or something like that, but I might be wrong.
Albuquerque. I don't know how you pronounce it. Albuquerque or something like that.
Yeah. And then aren't Einstein-Rosen bridges theoretically possible as well? And them I see basically like the instantaneous travel that we're getting going between the stars.
We also in 3307 radio technology has clearly advanced quite a bit. To put it into context, using standard radio waves, the path losses going sort of distance of light years is absolutely brutal. I think to the nearest star, you're talking 200 or 300 dB of path losses. Now, with a decibel, basically, for measuring power, each 10 dB of attenuation, you move the decimal point one left place. So 200 dB of attenuation, for instance, you'd have to move the decimal point left 200 times is how much power is remaining from the transmitter. And one little tidbit of information about this: if there were a civilization at exactly the same development as us in 2021, and they took their most powerful and most directional transmitter, pointed it straight at the Earth, and transmitted, we wouldn't be able to receive it from 12 light years away. So this is incidentally a possibility why we may not have heard any electronic evidence of another civilization. It's just the signal will be so incredibly weak by the time it gets here. We literally don't have a receiver sensitive enough
yet.
But evidently in 3307 we have much better wireless telecommunications, because we can transmit Galnet news across the whole bubble. And even just the hops, even if you accept there has to be some kind of hyperspace relay station every so often, the fact that we're even just getting it from one system to the next is a feat that, again, we can't even fathom how to do. Well, we can theorize about it. It's just more power, really, and a more sensitive receiver and a bigger dish. But at the end of the day, we can't do it. And in the Elite Dangerous world, it's just routine. So evidently, wireless, I hasten to call, I don't really want to call it radio, because it's the fact that you don't have to wait 12 years for a message to go 12 light years means there's some other hand wavium technology involved. But it's clearly, even without the hand wavium, it's clearly vastly superior to anything we've got now or will have anytime soon.
And for people listening, yes, we realise a lot of it's done for gameplay, but we're for the moment we're pretending it's not done for gameplay because it's
We're
interesting.
pretending, just like Sagittarius I did, we're pretending the Elite Dangerous universe is real.
So, what about spacesuit technology? Because I think that's an area where we're probably closest. Would you agree?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think our flight suits are closer to our like wetsuits of today, I'd say, aren't they? Whereas you look at what we need to do a bulky an EVA, it's like you're in a low pressurized environment, so you're going down from 1 atmosphere down to, is it a 3rd atmosphere or something like that? Plus you're wearing essentially a suit of armor that takes about an hour and a bit to put on, and you still have to decompress to get into it and recompress to get out of it. Whereas our flight suits are 1 atmosphere, as convenient to use as a wetsuit, and we can go from 1 atmosphere to a vacuum with just like flicking a helmet down.
Well, that's the Remlock system, isn't it? So
Yeah. But even if you don't put the Remlock's the emergency thing, but just putting your helmet on, you're not having to decompress and all that kind of stuff. It's we can do it, but what we have in Elite Dangerous is so much more convenient.
Oh, it is, but you can see how the least the technology would advance to that point. I think
Yeah.
the suits
Materials
will.
technology is improved.
The only thing with the Remlock suit to go down the usual Lave Radio scatological route is it's going to be a hell of a faff to go to the toilet, because you've got to get that like skin suit off.
Why?
When you want
Why would you? Why would you want to get it off?
Because
presumably
you want the poo to exit. You don't.
I'm assuming it all gets recycled in your suit.
Yeah, it's like a steel suit from Dune. I always thought you went to the loo, number 1 and number 2 in your suit. It then goes into a collection, something in the suit, where it's filtered and whatever, and it's then filtered back for you into nutrition.
I'm not. How does that? Because the Remlock suit is like skin tight and very form fitting. I can see how that would work with like the other suits you get in Odyssey now, whatever they're called. If I look at my I don't know what loadouts. Let's look at my loadouts. What suits are the Artemis Maverick and Dominator suits, which are a bit more. They've got more stuff, but the Remlock ship suit is just like the skin tight thing.
The other thing I've got as evidence for the waste recycling function of the suit is the way you walk when you get out of your ship.
I don't know. I think I walk quite normally when I get out of the ship. Perhaps.
It does kind of look like you shot yourself.
Yeah, totally. I guess so, but I think it's in terms of mobile tech. I think we're thinking that it's degraded. I mean, what about personal transport? Because the only personal transport we see are the yellow lorries in the space station. outside of ships and the SRV, because I think the SRV could be made today.
I'm not sure we could make it quite, because the SRV is, everybody goes on about them being flimsy, but they're not really. I mean, you can drive the SRV off a cliff.
The SRV's a bloody tank.
Okay, you'll take some hull damage, but you'll mostly survive. And you know, if you've ever driven one in VR, you know those pebbles people keep going on about stopping the SRV. You realise actually they're actually quite large, these rocks, when you run into them. And doing that sort of thing in, say, a van which is about the size of an SRV, at 35 meters a second is about 70 miles an hour. It's roughly 1 meter a second is 2 miles an hour. You imagine hitting one of those rocks at 70 miles an hour, even in like a Series 1 Land Rover, things aren't going to go very well.
But is that because materials technology has advanced to the point where you can absorb it?
Yeah, so the SRV is actually a lot tougher than people credit it for.
We also have to bear in mind that the SRV has these lovely thrusters on it to help counter low gravity and also to allow it to jump.
And I wish you could turn those thrusters off sometimes, the one that keep you pressed on the ground. I would like to sometimes be able to turn them off.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, which improves toughness as SRVs and things is the shield. I don't think we've got anything close to a shield, have we?
Or the glazing technology. You think of our ships. Now, if I look at my Crate Mark II, which I'm sitting in right now, it's got this enormous glass house, and you think you're sitting inside. You've got 14.7 pounds per square inch inside that, and you add all those square inches of that huge glass area. The glazing technology is just mind blowing. The fact that it takes so much to make it blow out, because everybody complains about the canopy getting blown out. The fact that when your shields go down, it does take quite a bit to actually make it blow out.
Maybe in Elite we've got transparent aluminum or something like that again.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a thing. Actually, it's an aluminium compound, the transparent aluminium. But there is a very, very tough transparent aluminium compound, in quotes, glass that has been developed. So that is a thing.
Well, I was about to say, actually, Tesla use a form of glass that can withstand the weight of 2 African elephants standing on it. So, yeah, so that's pretty strong glass. So I can see how that would happen. We could get that strong glazing, but then of course you get the odd paper canopy on some ships as well. You just sneeze at it and your canopy shatters. So I don't quite know how that works.
Yeah, but those same canopies are still holding in full atmospheres of glass in a absolutely humongous environment. So, whilst you might slag it off for getting shot at with a gun, it's still holding in a whole lot of pressure.
But one atmosphere in the vacuum. I mean, how hard is that to hold?
Very hard. You think about. There's a whole reason why windows on aeroplanes are teeny tiny and circular, or at least rounded corners.
And if you look at things like the International Space Station or the Space Shuttle, the windows on it are kind of small. Even the cupola, it doesn't have huge windows, and they're small windows and they're extremely thick. They're certainly not to the scale of, even better example is like, say, the Type 9, which is an enormous bubble on the front. I mean, the view out for Type 9 is absolutely superb, and which makes it actually quite good exploration ship, really. But yeah, the glazing technology, the whatever the transparencies, let's call them, are made. They're also curved. They're not flat as well. They're also interesting shapes, like the crate, the bit in front of you. There is no bar going across the middle of the screen, but it's got this big bend in it, and yet it holds up remarkably well to punishment. So
I'm full of sort of credit for whoever did the glass in our cockpits. It's I'm sitting here in a bubble of glass, and it's bloody impressive, really.
the other thing is talking the canopies is people say, oh, the cockpits are too big, the glass area is too much. But the thing is, if you had this glazing technology, you wouldn't make tiny little cockpits. Everybody wants a nice big panoramic view, and if you got the technology to do it, you'd do it.
Sorry, Beetlejuice is shooting me at the moment, and I'm not quite sure what with.
Nice,
mining
Jude. Go
lamps,
for it. Do it.
apparently.
I thought, I was going to say it's not something that's hurting me. It's just like, what is that?
Is it tickling? Does it tickle?
It does tickle, yeah. I think I actually got rid of my mining laser on this ship. Yeah,
So
it's a mining laser.
So in terms of stuff that's regressed, I think the mobile tech, the online shopping and stuff like that, I think that's kind of gone backwards, because we should be able to pick missions up from our phone. You should be able to do much more without needing to stand at a terminal, I think. And the comms stuff,
Yes.
in functionality wise, that's gone backwards. So why should we have to go to a certain station to clear our bounties, for example? Why can't we just, for a handling fee, go to any station and do them?
Well,
I think again, as Mac was
not
saying, I think it's a people thing rather than a technical thing. I think
because you can do that with a broker. What they're called. You can even do it on a carrier, fleet carrier, if the service has been installed by the owner.
Well, interstellar
factors.
Yeah.
For certain things, I don't think you can clear bounties on a carrier. But you can certainly turn in bounties on a carrier. If you got bounties and combat bombs, you can do that. But yeah, it's jurisdiction rather than it's a people problem, not a technology problem in that thing. But yeah, I always thought the terminals and whatnot were kind of incongruous. But again, it was probably a gameplay decision rather than, because it should be obvious that we'd at least have something like you have in the Expanse, on those nice little
those lovely
those little hand terminals with where holographic things can sort of fly out the sides.
Yeah.
I mean, they're done for gameplay reasons. I know, but you do think someone could make serious money in Elite, just simply in the universe of Elite, sorry, just by thinking a bit progressively down the track. If you can't sort of like market data, which said that, but also things like obvious things, like if we can 3D print fighters, and that's the other thing that we can, if we can 3D print equivalent of fighters, then why can't we do the same for SRVs?
Oh, frankly, I think we should be able to, but this is different teams developing different things and coming up with different handwavium for different things. Don't expect any kind of consistency, sadly. And that's a personal bugbear that winds me up.
Because in gameplay wise, it's a little bit like Star Trek, I suppose, in that in Star Trek is they'd be facing this ship-ending threat, and then the engineering or data would come up with some MacGuffin that fixed it in the last 10 minutes of the episode, and then it's promptly forgotten about, and no, they don't ever
again.
It's never used or referenced again. And it feels a little bit like that here, and whether that's a necessity of having a consistent universe, I'm not qualified to know. But it just seems strange that you have invented MacGuffin and it's completely forgotten about next episode.
Yeah, I think I don't want to get back on Shan's soapbox or Ben's soapbox, but my God, I wish they'd be consistent with their MacGuffins. And I think we move on from that before I get annoyed.
Yeah, I think we'll move on to the next topic, I think. So thanks, Matt, for coming by. You're still welcome to stay, of course. But I think it's I think it's been quite interesting to think of things that we can see happening and other things that completely are illogical, but kind of hey. Um, so that moves us on now to community corner, I think.
I think it probably does. Where are we? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
We
community
absolutely are on community
We
corner.
are.
Yeah.
Yep. So, shall I cover this one then? 'Cause
You're there.
I am there. So, Commander Veronica discovered, or at least as far as I'm aware, Commander Veronica discovered a 45G world in the KOI 1701 system. It's Veronica on EDSM. That's why I'm getting it. But I think let's just actually. I was going to check who it is in the system map. That's something we can do. Is it the same person? Yes, it is. It is indeed Commander Veronica, so that's okay. So they found this thing, and it's been, positively sort of located, and a bunch of the speed bowlers are thinking about it as we speak. There have been a couple of speed bowl attempts, for example, by Rock Jock and various other folks like that. However, and this is a big however, it's almost certainly some kind of bugged outlier because its stats are closer to that of a gas giant. And despite the fact it's 45G, according to the math that Commander Phobia's done, the actual speeds are closer to that of a 10G world. Theoretically, if we were on a 45G world, we should be able to get final speeds of approximately 13,300 meters a second, not 6,000-ish meters a second. So there might be issues with the planet. Say that though, as far as I'm aware, this is the highest landable planet that has been found. Who knows what Frontier are going to do with it, if they're going to leave it or if it's a bug, if it's going to one day re-wake and suddenly find out it's a gas giant. We just don't know.
Well, hopefully they'll leave it. They'll treat it like Meter and Hollow, because Meter and Hollow was the bug, wasn't it? Which they decided to leave in and not fix.
Yeah, I hope it'll be left in, at least until the next time they go off and bake the simulation again.
So, have they just discovered this planet is 45G, or was
the whole planet has just been discovered, apparently?
Right. Okay. So it wasn't 10G, and then an update it got transformed.
No, the whole planet's only just been found. No, it's about 6 Kylies away from the bubble, so it's it's not close, but it's not too far either.
So, are you going to attempt to land on it now?
I've attempted and failed to speedball down to it. I was actually about to start landing when you started talking to me, and I'm not going to attempt to talk and land at the same time, because that way lies issues.
Well, that's okay. We've got other things to talk about.
Well, if you want to talk amongst yourselves while I try and land, you can do that.
Well, we can give a running commentary, can't we? We can kind of do
a
the
delayed running commentary.
We can kind of
Go
do
on, Ben, go do it. Go land on the planet.
We can do a Hindenburg. We can do a Hindenburg on it.
Oh, I'm flying back to the planet now.
Place your bets as whether Ben will land or will he be a smear in the landscape.
So, okay, I'm not going to try a speedballing landing, just a regular landing for this one, I think.
Yeah. We want to see normal
landing. I will land on the sunny side of the moon rather than the winter side of the cold side of the moon of the planet.
Oh, we want to see you land in the dark so the explosion's brighter.
Well, tough. I'm going to land in the sun because it looks prettier.
So you're 6 light seconds away. So talk us. So we're talking.
It's a nice, pretty white and red planet at the moment.
So are there any repeating patterns on it that will annoy certain people?
Oh, you tell me.
I think you're coming in a bit quick, Ben.
I'm coming in fine. It's fine. This is fine. As I said, I know there are certain factions out here as well, and a certain Commander Beetlejude So yeah, we have to maintain caution.
Actually, you could get most people multi-crewing in, so they could watch you splat the
They could watch
surface
me. We play Splat the
from,
Planet.
from the safety of the hollow me.
Yeah.
Kai said $100 says Ben ends up a spot on the planet.
Sad
It's
little
really pretty
smear.
though.
It is. It is
Yeah,
quite
it
a
is.
pretty planet. I mean, as you'd expect with a 45G world, there ain't a lot of hills. And it is. I mean, it's quite a big planet as well. I mean, I'm still 4 megameters out at the moment, and it feels like I'm basically, I should be in orbit over the thing and
So-
dropping in already.
So
it
what
is
have
a
you
big-
done to? What have you done to your ship, Ben? Is it?
This is just my long. It's just my long range crate Phantom.
So has it got engineered thrusters or strength?
Yeah, I've got.
shields, or-
I think I've got lightweight thrusters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much. It's not super efficiently engineered for jumping, but
So are you going to land?
I'm going to try and land. Yes.
Backside facing up, because the trick for
Pardon?
high G land. Well, the trick to landing on a high G isn't to land on your landing gear, but have the nose pointed up, so you can then use your main thrusters to slow you down.
I didn't know that. I haven't actually tried landing.
No, this isn't the Shan. This isn't the Shan get you killed thing. This is a. I'm sure.
This is an actual thing, is it?
I'm sure Mac can confirm.
I don't know about that. I thought it was your bottom thrusters had some magic to them.
Well,
I
I'm going
always
to
seem
treat.
to
I'm going to treat
remember
it with respect, like a normal planet, and
I
then
always
we'll
seem
see
to
how that
remember
goes.
Commander Sanderling saying, never try and point nose up and boost away. It won't work. Level your ship and boost.
I've heard that one as well.
I
you
could be
better
wrong.
to
I haven't
go
really
fast and
tried to land
horizontal.
on a really high G planet ever, so
According to chat, flight assist off works as well.
Yeah. And I think actually just quickly toggling FA off to drop down a little bit would work.
I imagine you with 45G, you toggle flight assist off and then instantly slam into the ground.
It's
Probably,
interesting
yes.
because on your display it says 43.8 G, doesn't it? It doesn't say 10 G.
That's 44.07 at the moment, but yeah. So, but I mean, we're just talking about the maths, and it could just be that maybe speed is capped or something ridiculous like that. Maybe we just don't know what actually happened. Because of course, Frontier won't tell us anything.
Chat's saying you need to be level when you drop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
I've got no
approaching-
idea whether this is correct. Well, I do know if it's correct, but I've got no idea whether you'll believe me or not. Actually, I'm the wrong person to talk you down. Someone trustworthy like Sai or Mac should be doing it, really.
Just turn everything off.
Should be
You'll
fine,
be
yeah.
fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll work.
So just go to my systems and just turn engines off.
Yeah, 100%. Turn absolutely everything off. Just like wait for everything to the oxygen timer to count down, and by the time the oxygen timer is counted down, you should be on the planet.
Yeah,
Don't you
turn my shield off
reboot
too?
and-
Yeah.
Don't you reboot and repair when you're about a kilometre from the ground? As well?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's the best thing to do.
I have rebooted and repaired in an atmosphere before. That was fun because it recovered just as I was about to fall into doom.
I'd put 2 pips through your engines, Ben. Not.
I think that's probably a very good idea. So yeah, I'm very slowly.
I think the secret is to never get too high, because if you get really high sync rate, you are. I think you're
not going to pull out. Yeah.
That's what did in for me on my way back from Distant Worlds 2 was a excessive sync rate.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm wanting to get down faster because this is obviously shit radio, but I'm also not wanting to actually point my nose down any more than 5 degrees.
It's a shame you can't disembark and just kind of go down in your space.
Just turn into a smear on the ground. Yeah, whereas of course I can somehow magically get into my SRV probably.
I don't know. Worth trying it.
If I get down and I land, I will try and get into my SRV too.
It's a great looking planet. It sort of reminds me of a sort of a jam and cream confectionery, doesn't it?
It's a bit like a nice little strawberry jam confectionery, isn't it?
And you said it was strawberry jam because that's what you're about to be.
Possibly. Is there anywhere that actually looks pretty? Like,
Or it'd
in
be
the
like
sky?
that. You remember that bit in The Expanse where the guy in the racing ship or whatever it was,
yeah.
goes into and he sort of just just gets insta-gibbed.
Yeah, oh, that's such a good part. I love that bit.
Oh, that's interesting. Bit of someone suggesting you launch an SRV. No, sorry, launch a ship launch fighter.
I don't think I'm in the Crate Phantom. I don't have a fighter.
Oh, okay.
Come on, when am I going to drop?
So you're 32 kilometers at 4.2 kilometers a second.
Yeah, but I'm not.
You're not gliding yet, are you?
No. Here we go. Here goes the glide. Okay, the glide is now being aborted. So 22 kilometers and going okay. Okay, I'm just going to see if my ship can actually hold a hover at 20 kilometers altitude.
It's not doing too bad, is it? You're 23.1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Certainly on screen you are.
Yeah, I'm about that. Okay, so 170. I seem to be not falling out of the sky.
No, I mean 300 and it's 200 and something now.
Okay, let's.
That's eminently survivable.
Okay, well let's get a little bit closer to the ground then, shall we?
Boost.
Flight assist off, that'll do it.
So what do you think, listeners? Do you think he's got a chance?
I think he might find himself an excessive sync rate in very short order.
I mean, that's the thing. This is an exercise in patience, and patience and radio don't mix.
I mean, there's a mysterious thing called landing gear, which I'm told is quite useful as well, Ben.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put the landing gear out yet because I want to be able to boost. Yeah, I don't really want to boost into the ground for some crazy reason.
Well, I was thinking, have you got we talked about docking computer. If you got an advanced docking computer, it would try and land for you.
Oh God, no way would I trust a docking computer.
Yes, I think the docking computer will attempt to crash for you.
I think that's almost certain. Yeah.
We're getting close. 11 kilometers on screen.
Yeah, but
and
I'm not
speed's
wanting
increasing. Speed's increasing.
I'm just boosting just to. I don't want to go fast, but I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go too steep, but I don't want to take 10 years to actually land either.
You know, what would be funny is if you got it all lined up and you found you couldn't actually land for like 100 kilometers or something.
That would be quite funny, yeah.
I don't know. Planet's pretty flat. I think you'll be all right. Must have something to do with the gravity.
MK Vine's comments, Snooker on the radio. I thought Snooker was on the radio once. I thought it was...
It still is.
Broadcast on 5 Live.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we can cut the boring bits out. We can just say, and Ben goes into the red and he's crashed.
Yeah.
So
well, while I'm doing this, why doesn't Sai go and tell us what's the story?
It's gonna be too off putting for you, mate. You're gonna get too excited.
Oh, I'm gonna be wiping my palms, am I?
If it helps calm you down, just imagine there's a strange lady in the taxi with you. Okay?
Wait, what? I don't see no one.
So 7 kilometers. We're in docking computer range nearly.
Yeah, well.
Still going a bit quick, I reckon. What do you reckon, Mac?
Oh.
Yeah, well, I don't think his sync rate's okay at the moment.
You don't think it is, or you do
No,
think
I
it is?
think the sync rate's okay. I think the speed is forward speed, which is
Yeah, my
you can
speed is
easily-
for forward
You can
velocity.
easily deal with get rid of your forward speed when you
Yeah.
you actually get close to the ground. And the ground, I would imagine, is fairly flat. So finding a suitable landing spot, actually, it does look kind of wrinkly. Maybe
think-
finding a suitable landing spot is going to be a bit of a challenge.
I've got a cunning plan for you, Ben.
What is your cunning plan?
Go
And
silent.
is it as cunning as Baldrick's?
More so, go silent running so the ground can't see you.
That's not how these things work. Okay, I'm coming up on 2 kilometers now. Okay, under 1 kilometer.
Oh god, that's fast.
Okay, landing gear deployed, slowing down.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Yeah, I think your sync rate is actually fine. You'll just have to kind of get rid of some forward speed before.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
So what you're doing now? You're doing 1.5 kilometers up 3. Yeah, that's. I think all the parameters are looking quite good for landing there.
Yeah, it just makes a shit radio. I'm almost
Yeah.
tempted to actually just turn the FA off and do a psykit and do, follow
Hey,
her
hey,
advice.
hey! I've
Yeah.
never gone splat on a
No.
planet. Oh no, that's a lie. We're gonna.
no,
I know I lost an
I mean, I
anaconda
wanna-
once on a high G planet. It's fine.
I'm meaning I want to follow your advice. That'll make far better radio. But I also kind of want to actually land this thing.
We did when Horizons launched. We did this thing in the EIC. I think it was Akinar. Is it Akinar 6, which is quite high?
It was 9, wasn't it? Akinar 9?
Akinar 9. One of those. It's got quite a high G, and we posted on Reddit. Oh, we found this really good 6,000 credit a ton profit trade route. And then
I
somebody
remember
packed
that.
it and watched it rain anacondas. It was superb.
I remember that.
I'm at 450 meters now. Slowing down some more.
You could see the panic because they'd be coming in nose down and realizing they weren't going to get stopped. And you'd see all of them would do it. They'd all pitch up and boost, and they just kept falling, and then they'd hit the ground and bounce a couple of times. And
I think,
explode.
I think you've got this, Ben, because they say your forward speed 76 and you're 450 meters up now.
Yeah.
You've
It's
got to land, though.
I
'cause it's not-
have to land, as you say. But it's just a case of being careful and boring, which is shit for radio and television.
Yes,
It's a great looking planet, though. I know we talked about
And
planets
it
being.
really is. I think it's quite a pretty planet. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think this landing is going to be all right. The interesting thing will be the takeoff, because sometimes in these high G planets, you do the thing to lift off,
Okay, I'm unsuitable
and you
strain
sort of
here.
rise off the ground and sink back onto it again. And
It's
usually
definitely
by that
something.
time, embarrassingly, you've raised your landing gear and you sort of belly flop onto the
Oh,
ground.
need a blue dot there. It's definitely a bit screwy parameter wise because it doesn't look as though when you're flying it like a high G world.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem. When you're pitching down, I'm sure pretty much if you pitch down, I just saw you sink to the ground on suitable terrain.
92% shield.
There you go, alignment, okay, yes.
So can
And
you
your
get out?
Your SRV will say
Can't get
warning
out.
of high gravity.
So yeah, definitely can't get out. SRV says deploy.
You can go out in an SRV. You can.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. We talk about technology. That's the other thing that's strange because you're going out on a 10G world equivalent.
Yeah, we don't worry
in
about
an
these things.
SRV, and yes, the SRV might survive being squished, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, why the hell my body isn't going, what the hell are you doing to me, even though I'm in an SRG? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Right.
you would.
Can my SRV jump? That's the question. Hey, I can jump sort of.
You probably got amazing grip with all that
Yeah.
downforce.
Dismiss your ship and see if it'll land.
Oh,
You might end up stranded.
No, no. I kind of want to actually. I do
It
kind of want
doesn't
to.
look like 40. It looks like less than the.
It looks
your
about
rate-
3. Looks
Your
like 2 or
rate of
3, doesn't it?
descent there wasn't as extreme as I expected it
No.
to.
I think you should dismiss the ship, Ben. We'll go out with a bang, and then we can move on to
Nah, still can't.
size.
Oh, sod it. Let's try. Let's try it. Bye bye, ship. Bye bye. It was nice knowing you, ship. I don't think I'll see you again.
You never
I don't know.
This has been tremendously successful so far.
Yeah, I don't think I will see my ship again somehow.
This
Or
is
maybe you
science
will.
in actions, dear listeners.
Now, once it's gone away, now you've got to recall it and see if it comes back successfully.
Actually, can you get out of the SRB, Ben? Or you
No,
still...
I can't. I still can't. Okay, I'm recalling it. Let us. I think my ship's going to explosively. You are going to have rapid disassembly. I think.
Yeah, the recall is when we generally on expeditions we've had problems. Although it's usually because it's a place where you recall. We were doing which expedition was it? It was.
I thought
it was one of
the place-
Yannick's expeditions. We did ship because it even made the Galnet news. We did a ship. All of us recalled our ships, and half of the ships slammed into the side of this canyon and exploded, leaving a lot of people stranded.
Okay, Cloud Mug is
Alright.
saying it'll take a long time. Cloud Atlas, sorry, is saying it'll take a long time for it to come back, but it will come back just fine. I'm agreeing that it seems to be taking a while if it is coming.
So I think, shall we wait to see what happens and then move swiftly on to the section, and we'll come back to it when it's a bit closer? Ben, if you give us a shout.
Yeah,
when
I
it's-
think we can. Okay, I can see what's it saying. 15 point. Okay, it's actually my ship seems to be coming in quite carefully. It's about 15k away.
Oh, we got a bit. So we have an entry in the mostly clueless section.
We do. So right, this kind of surprised me actually. Which it was by. Oh, I don't have that. Do you have that open, Shan?
Yeah,
I remember
it's someone called the
topic.
Manure Man, who is a bio waste trader.
But all he said was talk about the correct way to exit Super Cruise. And I thought, well, the only way I know of exiting Super Cruise was drop below 1,000 meters per second and is it 1 megameter. Is there anything more to it than that? I know there are some foibles if you're winged up and you can use navlock and things like that. But am I missing something here?
It depends whether you want to drop out of Super Cruise in a specific location or not. If you just want to drop out of Super Cruise, just throttle back, wait till the safe speed, and then drop it.
Yeah.
Or do the emergency drop if you're, for instance, if you think you're being tailed by a ganker and you want to try and leave him. But if you're going to a specific destination, the wrinkles to exiting Super Cruise come from dropping on low wakes because you don't get the little distance and speed helper.
Yeah, it's 5 kilometers away.
Or rather, you do get the distance and speed helper, but you don't get the countdown you can set at 6 seconds, and you set your throttle so it stays at 6 seconds. So you've got to kind of guess at what point you should throttle down for a low wake. And half the time you do it too early and you end up spending ages. And by the time you get to it, whatever you were going to drop in on has gone. The low wake vanishes before you get there. And half the time you overshoot because you did it too late. So that's kind of the subtlety with the
Let's say I was on dropping on your wing. It's under 2 kilometers now. I've gone into debug cam to watch it on final. And to be honest, fair play to my non-docking computer. It seems to be treating the planet with a suitable amount of respect.
Yes, it does rather. The other wrinkles to leaving Super Cruise, talking about the mostly clueless Super Cruise thing, is there are different dropout distances. And I don't know what determines that. There are some stations where you have an 8 megameter dropout.
I've not
rather
found
than 1
stations, but
megameter.
I have found like war zones and things like that.
Yeah,
You can drop
and
out a
it
lot
happens
further
Fleet
away.
carriers are funny as well.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you have your fleet
Here we
carrier
go.
around the star, it generally has a higher dropout than if it's around a planet.
Here we go.
I've
So
noticed.
let's watch Ben's ship gracefully come into land.
Well,
And of course,
this could take another 5 minutes, so just keep talking.
of
I
course,
don't
if you,
know. It could be pretty close. I reckon it'll be next couple of minutes. To be fair, I don't think it's.
Yeah, we don't want 2 minutes of silence, so let Matt keep talking.
No.
Anyway, of course, if you're close enough to the whole thing with the 6-second rule, if you start out close enough, the 6-second rule, if you don't know, is you throttle down when it says 6 seconds to destination. You'll never overshoot. If you start out close enough, let's say you're going from a fleet carrier to a station, it's only like half a light second away, you can just leave the throttle at full because you'll never overshoot. Even though it'll give the slow down warning, it just doesn't matter. And that's quite useful when you're doing the passenger rescue, or not passenger rescue, the refugee missions, at the burning stations to the nearby megaship. You just launch, you leave the throttle at full, and you'll be at the right speed anyway. You won't exceed the dropout speed, so you can do it. It just makes it quicker and easier not to reduce your speed.
Oh, it did
The way
it!
that just plummeted out of space was absolutely wonderful.
Glorious albatross, and then it sort of went dunk.
I was expecting an earth-shattering boom. I'm quite.
Oh,
disappointed.
that was actually glorious to watch, and I
Was that a bit of a
apologise.
brown trousers moment right at the end, though, right?
Yeah, it was just coming in so carefully and closely. Then she came to a hover, landing gear got deployed, and then I'm going down now. Thunk.
It looked like someone
Well,
just
I'm
cut
here
the
now.
string. It looked like someone just cut the strings, didn't it?
Amazing. That was great.
It was a bit like my landing, to be fair. I mean, it was like down. I was there. I was fine. I was like under about 20 meters, and then just okay, right. Let's just get this thing on the ground now. And you. Well, I didn't thrust down. I turned off FA off. I turned FA off. And then my shields are at 93% as well.
Good job you got shields.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess this moves us on to Sai. Have we got time for your smutty bits this week?
Yeah, we do. Speaking of things that are amazing and wonderful, like that landing.
Hurry.
I have a better love story than Twilight for you today.
Well, that's not hard.
I know, right?
Spoiler warning, smut warning. So if you're listening to this in your car,
It's not spoilers. There's no spoilers involved in this.
Well,
it's just smutty.
I'm thinking
It's
your
not
spoilers.
too bad. It's not too bad, this one.
If you've got your 5-year-old in your car or your significant other, time to fast forward to.
Why
the next
not?
time
Why
step.
not? Why would you be happy for a significant other to sit through every other part of this show and not through the juicy bits?
Okay, if you're too fucking young to be listening to this fucking podcast, go away. There. Moving on.
The city lights twinkled, shifting and glittering below them like a restless flyeretta, basking in a permit-locked moonlight atop the hill, though neither of them were watching now. What do you suppose we are, Ben? Passing comets? Rogue planets? Well, I've heard about those things from certain people at a certain bar, but there's no evidence they're real. I think we're more like New Africa and Mitterrand Hollow. They nestled closer and Shan chuckled. Well, that's a powerful attraction, isn't it? I wonder... Hey, wait, am I New Africa? He propped himself up on an elbow to stare down, playful and accusatory. Are you calling me fat? Ha! Witness the wonder of the Hollow's exceptionally fast-moving gravity well. Innuendo doesn't count if you set it up yourself, scolded Shan, smiling as I'd rolled into him. He laid back, but felt the electricity of excitement, the power. His pips shifted in anticipation. Their feet touched, their legs intertwined. Expert at inner leg danced through Shan's mind, but he couldn't place the thought and brushed it away like a harmless adder, while Ben's hands played, danced, groped, caressed, petted. Curly, soft, downy, woolly. Ben stifled a little gasp as he snatched his hand back from the luxurious locks, jarring Shan from his pleasure trance. They rolled apart, knocking over the empty brandy bottle with a sobering clatter. Ben, what's the matter? Ben demurred. It's nothing. Do you have another Lavian? Now look here, I know a thing or two about professional behaviour from my day job, and this kind of production failure requires the apology of someone a lot more important than you. It's your fur. I mean, what? Oh, is this about him? Yeah, Ben sighed. It is. I'm sorry. Shan sat up, putting an arm over Ben's shoulders. They looked down across the cityscape. Geronimo. I want to pet my bunny, Ben murmured. Shan silently tapped at his mobile, and his Tesla crunched across the gravel to them, seeming to hum Tokuso to itself inside the cabin. Geronimo, they agreed, as they turned their back on the starry night. Gold!
I am literally speechless.
Gold! And I cannot tell you who did that because they requested to remain anonymous.
Thank you, Katiana.
It wasn't Katie.
It wasn't Katie. Oh,
it wasn't Katie. It was absolute gold.
Was it Colin?
No.
I can see Colin writing that too, to be honest.
No, but it's magnificent. But they did request to remain anonymous, and I'm so happy with it.
Right. Well,
Bills
Niggles is
and
asking
Boon
for...
Radio.
Niggles is asking for a boom, so I'm going to drop from 10 kilometers.
Do it.
While
we close out the show?
Yeah, you lot close out the show, I'm going to fall.
Well, I think, unless anyone got any other business?
I don't. Well, I haven't. I can't really follow that, can I? So it's shout out time, I think.
Absolutely. So shouting out our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a little bit of CQC action, you can check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving some shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts that have appeared over the last year or are standard regular contributors. Algarab AM, Black Sky Legion, who also do other space sims and real life science, etc. The Canon podcast for Spanish speakers is the Elite Cast. The Fatherhood podcast, Flight Assist, which is back on Monday. The Guard Frequency, Loose Screws, Squeaking Fuel, System Chat, and Ben Zero Prep.
So, if I get my microphone back on. So, Zero Prep, which may or may not be having a name change, is basically myself, Suverine, and Kaizen talking about stuff that aren't elite. That, you know, I go off and talk about all the other shit that I actually enjoy, and everyone on listening to Lave Radio has a face on about it. And, you know, Kai has the same over on Black Sky Legion. Suv has the same in Sagittarius Eye. You know, we're all round geeks, not just Elite Dangerous geeks. So, for example, you know, New Worlds is coming out, and a lot of people are getting very excited about that. We want to be able to talk about that. Want to be able to talk about, you know, things like the Marvel stuff, the Star Trek stuff, the Expanse when that's back out, or the Expanse books, sci-fi books in general that I love to read. All this other stuff, what I does that isn't elite. I wanted a chance to have a sort of a free-form chat, basically, about that, and we're doing that on a weekly basis at, I think it's 8 o'clock on Sunday evenings, 8 o'clock UK time, Sunday evenings. I think that's 3 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. I said Marvel, Elvis, not Marvel. Although if we wanted to talk Marvels, we could, because
anyway,
we're not limiting ourselves.
Wonderful.
That's
Perfect.
what we're doing.
So for those who want a literary discussion about sci-fi and fantasy books, please, you can go subscribe to the Data Slate podcast, which is created by Station Commander Alan Stroud. Following this, we have the latest Galnet news digest as provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Thank you to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and the in-game commanders. Who did you have visiting you, Ben?
Beetlejude came in and visited me.
Nice.
So yeah, Beetlejude was here, and I believe that Colin did have before he ran away. I believe Colin had
Miggles,
Miggles and some other people. Yeah. So yeah, Jude was here before I killed myself. Well, before I went down on the planet.
Okay, easy. Perfect. So special thanks to Commander Tokuso, who created the music for the introduction of the show. That's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, then you can email info@laveradio.com. Hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/Lave Radio. Tweet us at Lave Radio. You can also join our Discord server by going to discord.io/Lave Radio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders can go and hang out. You can find that over at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Do get in touch if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Specifically, my DMs are always open for gold like I just received this week. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Colin, who's not here with us right now, Ben, Shan. Thank you to Mac for coming and standing in and being our inflatable Colin for the night.
According to scientists, Uranus is full of methane gas.
Excellent. Good to know. Perfect. And special thanks to today's specialist, Quest Mark 4. I don't know why I said it in that voice. My apologies. Until next time, commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word.
Space can be done.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 7th of September 3307. We read the news so you don't have to.
In this week's news, enforcing the conflict zone.
A bit of a weight problem.
The Speed Scanning Diversity Challenge.
Survival tips from one who knows. The Pilots Federation is said to be putting the finishing touches to new defences aimed at protecting the on-foot combatants in conflict zones from the unfortunate attentions of those in spaceships and SRVs. Spaceships in particular have proved devastatingly successful in wiping out foot soldiers, much to the surprise of the Pilots Federation, who'd assumed that spaceships and people were roughly on a par. Conflict zones at settlements will soon sport anti-spacecraft turrets, and flights of spaceships will also be sent to see off any ne'er-do-wells who are wiping out entire platoons from the air using dumbfires. And to combat the peril of rogue SRVs, infantry equipped with shoulder-launched rockets will soon be deployed to see off the overpowered buggies. It won't be impossible to fight in a ground combat zone using spaceships or SRVs, it'll just be a bit harder. The delightful prospect of dogfighting that close to the ground might actually mean the initiative backfires, encouraging more slightly naughty commanders to turn up in their ships at conflict zones just for the fun of it. Some commanders are like that. They seem to think the galaxy exists just for their pleasure.
The discovery of a 45G landable planet in the KOI 1701 system creates a dilemma for commanders. After trekking 6,000 light-years from the bubble to see it, do they really want to attempt to touch down safely on this extraordinary planet, which seems to be made primarily of iron? With a surface temperature of nearly 4,000 degrees Kelvin, that's 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or nearly as hot as people claim Death Valley on Earth in Sol System is. Getting out and walking around wouldn't be much of an option, even if you could get up from your flight chair, which you can't, as the average commander will have an effective weight of around half a ton. Were it not for your flight suit assisting your normal bodily functions, just sitting still in your chair would be way too much exercise to handle. As your hand is too heavy to lift to the launch button, you'd better get used to being here. If you came in an Asp Explorer, on this planet it weighs more than 18,000 tons, as much as 16 unladen Lakon Type 9s on Earth. It would be daft to visit this inhospitable planet, but if you do, the only way to experience this planet's extraordinary 45G pulling power is flight assist off.
Canon Interstellar is holding a time trial on one of the few planets with 9 different types of biological specimen to sample. The Artemis suit hasn't yet developed engineering clever enough to have more than one sample canister at a time, and lack of genetic diversity is a problem all over the galaxy, not just in Norfolk. So you need to walk past many biological samples you haven't yet and can't yet sample to get 3 samples from the first one before you can go on to the second, and so on. All terribly wasteful, and the first commander to scan all the biology on the planet took 5.5 hours. Canon reckons everything can be scanned far faster than that, probably in less than 30 minutes, and he's offering a modest prize of some used laboratory equipment and utterly worthless coin that entitles the bearer to free biscuits and gin on the Gnosis for the commander who can complete the scans in the quickest time before the 31st of December. Terms and conditions apply. Please read the rules before entering. Bribes will not be refunded, and the judge's decision is final. Because you can only hand in your scans to Vista Genomics once you've banked your run, you can't try again. If you're halfway through and it's not going well, you can critically injure yourself to lose the scan data and try again. But selling your data is non-reversible. If you want to give it a go, the planet to head for is Tucanae Sector AF-A D714E, just 300 light-years from Sol.
Canon Interstellar has reported a crashed Anaconda found on HR 6051, Planet 2F. This seems to have been piloted by the same commander who is known to have crashed on HIP 83003, Planet 6A. The evidence seems circumstantially quite strong that there may be other crashed ships to find that were also piloted by this unfortunate commander. As someone who has had to survive for months on barren planets while he awaited rescue, the unnamed pilot has compiled a list of helpful tips that might prove useful for anyone else that finds themselves in a similar predicament.
Survival tip number 2. Oh yeah, this is a big one. If you have to crash on a planet, make sure your cargo hold is full of useful stuff like evac shelters, food, basic meds or replacement parts for your newly wrecked ship. Whatever you do, don't fill it with cargo that's as much use as a chocolate fuel scoop. Survival tip 29. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Survival on a hostile planet is all about the prep. Prep, prep, prep. Plan your crashes. It makes it a whole lot easier than being surprised by one and thinking, Wow, I wish I'd planned this crash better. Survival tip 77. Whatever you do, do not go crazy and start talking to yourself. Or worse, start making a series of videos on survival tips when you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, seriously, dude, you're nuts. What do you think's gonna happen here? Hey, don't give me that look. Hey, come back here, I was talking to... That guy is driving me crazy. Survival tip 38. This might be your first crash. It might be, say, your 46, not to be too specific about it, but learn from the professionals. You cannot use domestic appliances to repair your thruster manifolds. Turns out all that does is make a lot of smoke and a very loud bang. Not to mention the hole breach in the engine compartment. I mean, who knew though, right? Survival tip number 8. A rookie mistake that a lot of first-time crashers fall into is mixing up the water supply with the urine disposal system. Color code that bad boy, I'm serious. That stuff has a wicked aftertaste that just doesn't go away.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we faceplant the planet so you don't have to.